read something recently that said disconnecting is a lot like sleeping 8 hours at night. We know we should do it, but actually getting it done is pretty hard. Welcome to Momentum Live. I'm Brooke Scutt. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about the importance and the power of disconnecting. But first, what is disconnecting? When you go and take time off, go on vacation, disconnecting is not allotting one time a day for you to check your email or checking in on that productivity platform or spending, an hour in the morning, in your CRM or again, in your organization tool. That is not disconnecting. Disconnecting is truly shutting it off and not spending time thinking about work. There's so many benefits from actually disconnecting. And I'll be honest, it's hard for me too. It's very hard. It's hard for me for the example of when I go away, we often think about the things that we're going to come back to, the mountain of email. I said that just before my vacation to someone. I said, I get 230 emails a day. If I don't check it, I'm going to come back to 1,000 emails. But nevertheless, I should have just let it go and then come back and dealt with it. A couple of reasons why. Because when you disconnect, you come back stronger because you've taken the time off to rest your body. And, I also read something that said that productivity is not like a campfire. There isn't a perfectly linear relationship between how much fuel you pour on it and then, the output of what actually happens. So, taking time off, slowing down, actually disconnecting will end up being better for your productivity in the long run. Another thing is that your body will appreciate you disconnecting. We're so distracted and we fuel ourselves with distraction based on technology, with work and all these things. And when we take time to disconnect from that, we can maybe undo some of the damage that we're doing to our body on a regular basis. How many times have you been so busy with whatever it is that you're doing that lunchtime comes and goes and then you realize that you're starving because you didn't plan or schedule to eat and take care of your body? Or how many times towards the end of the day where you're just exhausted because it's been one of those mentally draining days and you decide to skip the gym, or in the morning you hit the snooze button as opposed to getting up? When we disconnect, it gives us the time to reevaluate these maybe poor choices or poor habits that we've created, and then eventually take that time to figure out how we're going to overcome those. And then lastly, when you disconnect, you allow yourself to be more creative in your life. And creative isn't, meaning artistic. It means coming up with the ability to let your mind find and create solutions to problems. Maybe it's challenges with your health. Maybe it's challenges with your family or with your schedule or something, that is related to work. But you will come back more creative. So there's a couple things to think about when you are trying to disconnect. I know it's scary. I know it's awkward. I know it's uncomfortable. But just a couple of steps here. Make sure that if you work with a team or with clients that, you guys get on the same page about the definition of a crisis. And a crisis, would be whatever that definition is that you have to handle. And when there's a crisis, and only when there's a crisis, will you be contacted when you're in your time off. The next thing is how you're going to be contacted. If you're going to stay out of your email, then it's important that you discuss, if there's a crisis, how you're going to be contacted, texting, so on and so forth. Here's a big one. Turn off the notifications on your phone. If you are trying to disconnect, turn off, the news feed notifications or Facebook posts, or even anything that comes from, your productivity software, Asana, Slack, whatever it is that you use, Microsoft Teams. Turning off those notifications so you're not constantly drawn back to work. And then last but not least, log out of everything. Ooh, it's the tough one. Log out of email, log out of Facebook, log out of your instant messenger platform at work. Whatever it is, just log out and disconnect. I know it's hard. There's a statistic that says something like, 52% of vacation days in the U.S. are sacrificed, left behind. Lots of reasons why we're afraid to disconnect and take the time, but there's so many more benefits if we would actually disconnect and allow ourselves to sit with ourselves, with our family, with our thoughts, disconnected from work, whatever obligations we have. I hope you have a great Monday and a great week, and I'll see you guys next week.